Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what people at you, in no at you. Go be money, miss away in the yellow rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste and must have mantis statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take this print of money, God, and say that it's not you. One day, the man above him, up him, I got up. Too much it in the kitchen, some fly by like a patu. The singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption please.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say dig up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, the rapper, they down in our river. Member bold only and they lie them tell.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Good evening, and welcome. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We're now going to read out the name this evening because I glare, so we're now going to force myself How no do to my community of party, all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. Juliet, look. The Prime Minister is swinging on the chandelier again. It is becoming a practice for the Prime Minister to swim around on chandeliers. But we will get to that in a moment. May I always tell you something like to listen to Cliff above all the other mainstream broadcaster where Andrew buy out. Because sometimes, how you do call us? Sometimes Cliff will tell them the truth. Say what you want to say about that crusty old bullfrog draw looking thing. Because he's playing the tax game and he want to cushion up to PNP, Cliff will play the game. But I promise you to bring you snippets and puppets of your Prime Minister in India. And we are going to start with that because we're going to get the irritant out of the way a bit early. This is your Prime Minister visiting Presidential House in India. Visiting the President. That show said, important. Look how them take picture of me. Click. I need a palm picture, yes, sir. Yes, said the Prime Minister. Let us listen to a bit of the broadcasting because in the press conference, Narendra did not speak in English. So I won't be able to bring you that part. But listen to Fiandra part when we get there.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his Jamaican counterpart Dr. Andrew Holness at New Delhi's Hyderabad House on Tuesday. This is his first visit to India and also the first ever bilateral visit of a Prime Minister of Jamaica to India. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Holness met several times on the sidelines of multilateral meetings. The Jamaican PM also held delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Modi on Tuesday. The leaders discussed ways to further strengthen ties and enhance cooperation in trade, investment, renewable energy, digital transformation, development partnership, education, capacity building, and people-to-people connect. Regional and global issues also came up for discussion. 4 memoranda of understanding was inked between the two countries, focusing on areas such as technology, education, culture, and trade. The MOUs signed include those on cooperation on sharing of DPI in financial inclusion, e-payments, cultural exchange, and cooperation in sports. After the MOUs were exchanged in the presence of the two leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India has always been a trustworthy and committed development partner for Jamaica.
4 C's हमारे संबंधों को अंकित करते हैं.
Memorandum exchange and partnership for culture, education, trade, and something another. But as I've been questioning this morning, how come the Prime Minister delegation so small? There's memorandum of understanding exchange in education and culture. Our education minister was not there. The culture minister was not there. Is this a delegation that understood what they were signing up to? Or is it just an Andrew Holness signing up to anything? And then we will have to just follow the marching orders with Andrew Holness.
Two sides are expected to firm up a number of pacts to expand cooperation in a range of areas. So, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday began a 4-day visit to India to solidify bilateral ties in a range of key areas, including trade and investment. Remember, it is the first ever bilateral visit of a Prime Minister of Jamaica to India, and we are getting you the visuals where bilateral is happening between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness at Hyderabad House in the national capital. So they are expected to hold wide-ranging talks, following which the two sides are expected to firm up a number of pacts to expand cooperation in a range of areas. And the visit will also provide an opportunity to Prime Minister Holness to meet with other dignitaries and interact with trade and industry leaders. So the visit also reflects India's broader outreach to the Caribbean community, of which Jamaica is a key member. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, both the delegations are meeting. You can see the Jamaican delegation and then the Indian delegation. So in a significant diplomatic event, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he arrived in New Delhi on his first official visit to India, started on September 30th, that is yesterday, to October 3rd, 2024. And this marks the first ever bilateral visit of a Jamaican Prime Minister to India and represents a significant step forward in strengthening ties between the two nations.
Look at how small the Jamaican delegation is.
So coming at the invitation of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, this historic visit is expected to bolster bilateral cooperation across various sectors, deepen cultural ties, and expand economic relations. And Prime Minister Holness' visit to India for delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi is being viewed as a landmark moment in India's engagement with Jamaica and wider Caribbean region. While the two leaders have previously met on the sidelines of multilateral summits, this official visit is a testament to the growing strategic importance of the relationship between the two countries. So the meeting will set the stage for deeper collaboration in key areas such as trade, investment, technology, and cultural exchanges. And several MOUs are also expected to be signed later in the day. And also, Prime Minister Holness will call on President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. And this high-level engagement underscores the importance both nations place on their growing partnership. And in addition to these meetings, these political meetings, Holness will engage with prominent Indian trade and industry leaders, opening avenues for increased economic cooperation. Like we said, a series of MOUs are expected to be signed during the visit, spanning areas such as technology,
spanning areas such as technology, trade, education, cultural ties, sport, all those things were discussed as well. Thank you very much. EM, thank you. Thank you. Always been a great supporter. Thank you. But the Prime Minister doesn't seem to be working with a worthwhile delegation. You're discussing cultural ties, sport, the exchange, and the development each of you can do in sport, what they can do for you in cricket, what you can do for them in track and field. The Minister of Sport and Culture weren't there. Education. The Minister of Education weren't there. So we're going to go to the signing of the exchange of the memorandums and the press conference, but we will skip over Narendra because he spoke in his native tongue, which sparked something for me, but I'll leave it at that for two leaders of two post-colonial country who speak perfectly English. Bra, 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 ma, ma, ma. Let's go over to the other limb of it.
In the field of sharing successful digital public infrastructure aimed at promoting financial inclusion and social and economic transformation. This will be exchanged on the Jamaican side by Honorable Dana Morris Dixon, Minister in the Office of Prime Minister, and on the Indian side by Shri Pankaj Chaudhary, Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance. Next, we have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding between NPCI International Payments Limited and eGov Jamaica Limited. Again, the two ministers, please. Thank you, Minister. Next, we shall have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding on the Cultural Exchange Program between the Government of Republic of India and the Government of Jamaica for the years 2024-2029. This will be exchanged on the Jamaican side by Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, on the Indian side by Shri Pankaj Chaudhary, Minister of State, Minister of Finance. And lastly, we have the exchange of Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in Sports between the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, and the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, Sports, Government of Jamaica. Again, the two ministers, please.
Hey, why does it seem so hard to sell your services? Well, it's because...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the exchange ceremony. I will now request spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs to conduct the remainder of the proceedings.
Namaskar, good afternoon, Your Excellency, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ON PCMP, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Ministers and members of both delegations, distinguished guests and friends from the media. We will now have the press statements. May I request Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency, Pradhan Mantri Andrew Holness, दोनों देशों के delegates,
we're going to skip this because he's
मीडिया के साथियों,
make no time wasting
नमस्कार.
time on this.
Our values, this में बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you, sir. May I now request His Excellency Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ONPC MP, Prime Minister of Jamaica to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency, Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. Let me begin by thanking the Government of India for the warm welcome and the hospitality extended to me and my delegation on this, my first visit to India. Jamaica values the strong fraternal ties with India since our independence. Our relationship, however, predates the formal establishment of diplomatic ties, as Indian migrants came to Jamaica in the 1800s at a crucial juncture in the economic history of Jamaica. Almost 2 centuries now, Indians have made their mark in Jamaica, contributing to our country's development in various spheres, including health, education, information technology, and business. Their contribution to Jamaica's rich cultural heritage is also evident in our cuisine, music, and dance. In recognition of this, we celebrate Indian Heritage Day annually on the 10th of May to commemorate the arrival of the first Indians in 1845. Our strong people-to-people exchanges over the decades form the backdrop for our bilateral engagement today. Having had very fruitful talks with Prime Minister Modi, I can say with confidence that today heralds a new phase in Jamaica-India bilateral relations. Our discussions touched a range of issues of mutual interest, including health, agriculture, digital transformation, film, education, sports, tourism, and many other subjects. While we have largely recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic, I must convey on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica our sincere gratitude to the government and people of India for the tremendous support provided to us during our time of need as part of your vaccine friendship scheme. We are immensely grateful that we could count on India as a true friend and partner during those difficult times. As Jamaica continues its development journey, we must urgently build our human capital to ensure that we can thrive and succeed in a technology-driven world. We are therefore grateful for the scholarships and high-quality training provided by the Government of India under the ITEC program, from which hundreds of Jamaica nationals have benefited over the years. As India positions itself as the knowledge capital of the world, we recognize the remarkable strides made by your government in STEM education and digitalization. We therefore look forward to learn from India as a beacon of technological advancement in the global south, as the government of Jamaica seeks to equip itself and its people with the relevant skills to navigate this changing and dynamic world. We are working to take the same innovative approach to development of our agricultural sector as we seek to work with India to share knowledge and best practices in critical areas such as mechanization, affordable irrigation, advanced seed technologies, and expertise in crop development, agro-processing, as well as investments and facilitation for credit support. In light of my administration's effort to enhance the safety and security of our citizens with a focus on strengthening the national security infrastructure and enhancing border security, we see India, a global leader in technology-driven security solutions, as a natural ally. As the world's fastest growing economy, energy security is of paramount importance to India. And likewise, as a small developing state, which are susceptible to external shocks, Jamaica's development is inextricably connected to its energy security. Our shared interests, premised on our respective national targets to diversify our energy mix by 2030, provide a platform for deeper cooperation in this sphere. I am therefore pleased to announce Jamaica's intention to join the Global Biofuels Alliance pioneered by the Government of India. Jamaica is uniquely vulnerable to the impacts of climate change and therefore regards any effort to deal with this existential threat as worthy of support and commendation. For this reason, Jamaica is proud to have been invited by Prime Minister Modi to be a founding member of the Infrastructure for Island Resilient States, the IRIS, and the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, the CDRI. We are deeply appreciative of India's global advocacy and leadership on matters affecting developing countries. Prime Minister, you can rely on Jamaica's continued support and active engagement on these initiatives, as well as in the context of the International Solar Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica-India relations are buttressed by our shared passion for sports, in particular the game of cricket. We commend India as a leading innovator in the sport, and we appreciate all that India has done to support the ongoing development of cricket in CARICOM and in Jamaica in particular. Of course, Jamaica's excellence in the track and field and India's excellence and prowess in cricket are winning combinations and provide tremendous opportunities for mutual exchange and cooperation. So on that note, I congratulate India on its victory in the 2024 Men's T20 World Cup held in the West Indies in June, and its recent gold medal sweep in the 45th.
All right, we're going to tap you with him, because I know I'm so tired and fed up by him, I know one hand must full of rock stone. I'm not able to rock stone, go miss him and lick me. But these memorandum of understanding, you don't know what they mean. Me not too know what they mean. But what these memorandum of understanding provide is say when the Indian Prime Minister dangle carrot and say, can we have this deal? Wholeness just sign it, because we have a memorandum of understanding, and no full play in a Indian I got just drop out of sky, drop in a Jamaica. So remember when the plane they just drop out of the sky, drop right a Horace strong foot. We're likely to have more of that army. And no, if Modi call wholeness and say Them people that chat too much and watch too much. So make we mark it up on paper so nobody can ask we any more question, because when they ask we, what is this all about? We just flash the piece of paper in their face and say, memorandum of understanding. Them can't do anything under it. Your government can sign up for anything under the memorandum of understanding. If India willing to stuff them pocket and them have to give away more of our lands, or give up more of us, or give us substandard food, anything, they will make sure them can get it out of this prime minister, especially when he's at this weak and vulnerable stage. Anybody can get what they want out of him. Once again, thanks EM. Global Television Studio has received its second super chat. It is taking its time, oopsie daisy, and growing. Thank you very much. But I'm still keeping my eyes out for Palki Sharma from First Sport, the Vantage program, to see if she's going to do any interview with the Prime Minister, because I would really want to hear someone of that journalistic caliber interviews the Prime Minister, because I'm sure he would be dumbstruck in front of her, because she's a well-researched journalist. And if she gets the chance to interview him, she will draw up a couple of his dead cats when I've buried. We're buried in a shallow grave like Shaini Robinson. At the shallow grave where Shaini Robinson buried in, you know, why Shaini cannot stay under that. Every 4 years, Shaini get up. Every 4 years, Shaini get up. But we know them just have a gyration down. Oh God, Georgina C. India riddled with corruption. Riddled with it. The food industry in India have very substandard practice. The pharmaceutical industry in India, some of them have very substandard practices. So, bear up on yourself, Jamaica, on a thing to say. When you start nyam plastic rice yet, when you start nyam rice and flour were at pispan. Wait, when you soon start get some curry and some paracetamol, where they have in India, where kill off people where they ban from the market where they are. No, wait. Don't turn up against this government and see how it's selling down the Swanee one by one, bit by bit. We'll be selling you down the Swanee one by one, bit by bit. Because you don't pay attention. You're not all paying attention. But when you see the Catalan down a wo yonder, the woman said, "Don't touch me, Tom, don't touch me." Come in able your bloody hand stain me. Don't touch me, Tam Tavares. You come down, you have to steal election. Don't touch me with your bloody hand before your hands stain me, Tam Tavares. Don't touch me with your bloody hands.
Back is not supposed to come and dance. No, back supposed to come. Back supposed to come out the car and go straight. Yeah, you know. Back is not supposed to come and dance. No, back supposed to come. Back supposed to come out the car and go straight in the police. You must see. Where they are? Come on, man. We're not fooling.
Hold on there. If I them wanna keep election and them a behave so fraudulent to their own self, how if I did them and somebody else a keep it? Ask yourself the question. If I them wanna keep election and them same one turn round I deploy malpractice in their own election, imagine I did them and somebody else a keep it. Hey, thiefing would have turn up.
Yeah, you know. Back is not supposed to come and dance. No, back supposed to come. Back supposed to come out the car and go straight in the police. You must see. Where they are?
Thomas stuff the box them, Tam Tavares.
At the election, I never see this yet. Joking thing on the pan. See if your box in there, any feeling when you watch them, put your box in there, put the president of the carry them up. I want to know about
Junior, Thomas stuff the box them there.
Diane, where you there?
Look, Grant Thomas stuff the box.
Them police, yeah. The presiding officer, me never see boxer ground, boxer going up in a EOJ. Me don't tears. Me don't want nobody touch me. Me want to box them. Go in the office.
Don't touch me with your bloody hand.
Me not supposed to box them down the road. Me not in a this.
Election fraud.
Take up them from me. No button and then you box them. No answer. I'm a tell council don't tell me no without the coming.
Imagine if them are thief their own election. If them have Abka and Tam Tavares and stuff box while them put box at their foot. Imagine if PNP did contest this year election, yeah?
Yeah, you know. Back is not supposed to come and dance. No, back supposed to come out the car and go straight in the police. Where they are? Come on, man. We're not fooling. At the election, I never see this yet. Joking thing on the pan. See if your box in there,
are you guys the donation stream at the top? While I look pushing the paper in the back.
Junior, come here. Diane, where you there?
I go for box to that, sir.
Them police, yeah. The presiding officer, me never see boxer ground, boxer going up in a EOJ. Me downstairs. Me don't want nobody touch me. Me want to box them. Go in the office.
Move with your bloody hand, fire.
Me not in a this.
One and
no button and then you box them. No answer. I'm a tell council don't tell me no without the coming.
Guana leeching. Guana leeching. Go make leeching wash off your hand before you touch me. Tam with the bloody hands. With the dry blood. Pan your hand, Tam. Look pan the ballot box if you don't see the dry blood, Tam. Imagine though. If I did them and somebody I keep the election, if them can keep up them fraudulent practice when I them toto one, them so one I keep election and them still find it possible for a thief. Good God Almighty JLP. All on a cell phone a thief from. All on a self on a thief from. And then this morning, then wake up. Who to who? Blunder a blush. Red. Now look at this. Me not cuss no bad word, you know. Me not cuss no bad word. Me if you go cuss bad word after me a fool. Me cuss bad word. Me no idiot like that. Me no so fool. Tell gospel bad word today. It a go take long for gospel here. Remember how long it take to get the local election result. Director of election, Glass Deep Hole Brown, says a flawed voter. Hey, read good, Wayne, read good. Whoa, a flawed voter list may be given the wrong impression. Jankro. Should I read further or should I cuss and read? A long time I don't cuss and read, you know. A long time I don't cuss and read. Jankro, Dunce, Baba Bethune, Connie Bud.
And where the blood clot this? And where the blood clot this?
Both we not fit chat. Who this? Where him come from? Jamaica. The director of election said, gas pan the poll, bro. Say a flawed voters list. Drunk crow. I can't read further. Who released the voters list? Drunk crow. Scaldog. Lord Jesus, the man you labor. If you never proven on the local government elections, say you labor, it's all written on the wall. John Crow, Crowbait, fly at the picture night where you never know which season, whether you was to be flying or you was to be pitching. Or you get to come out, come tell me so. I mean, I don't know what's me dance, but I'm not counting this. This is a talking. And it's hard to win me glass bowl when it comes to talking. You may win me when it comes to counting, but not to talking. Or you get to come out, come say this, sir. Where the flawed voters list come from? Glasshole Brown. Oh, Glasshole Brown release the flawed voters list. But then again, your backside hole, it makes sense. If Matthew Samuda, Glasshole Brown, I want coffee for drink. If Matthew Samuda, with his Chinese wife, which is the deputy managing director at the Observer, working for a member of the 21 family, catch up in a one room, in a delegate, in a labor scrutineer house. Then, of course, Gospel Brown. As Labour have always used that tactics, not only them, because it has to be fair in broadcasting. Wanna get on outsiders on stuff the voters list with people them in order to gerrymander the constituency. Isn't that your gerrymandering tactics? How you get so? Who, if not you, would have been responsible for a flawed voters list? But why you call it flawed and not fraudulent? Gospel Brown. Director of Election, Gospel Brown says a flawed voters list may be given the wrong impression about the true level of participation in the recent election. Mr. Holbrown says to Nationwide at 5 on Monday that it is highly questionable whether the 11.6% voters turnout recorded in Northeast St. Anne's BUY by-election is an accurate reflection. Brown had expressed similar concern about back in February about the local government election, which saw a voter turnout of 29%. So that means that then, I call for review of the electoral list. Who, though Gospel Brown, is at fault? Who should take the rap for this? Who would issue Gospel a flawed or fraudulent voters list? Who? Because adore me, as busy as dead Shiny Robinson is, we know it's not Shiny Robinson. As much as she can manage to shuffle herself every 4 years out of her shallow grave, Shiny Robinson didn't put out this list. So how do we get here, Gospel? Who is responsible, Gospel? It's all clear now. Say me and him done so like we can count. Member say, up until today, we don't get a result from the local government election. And see Gospel come back. Yes, so again, with the same counting problem. So tell me the truth, people. Out of me and Gospel, who, the two are not on the same length, so the number galang in. Talk truth. If me and Gospel not done so like, when it come to number, because we always get confused when it come to number, if the truth be told. The two most confused people when them say number is me and Gospel Brown. The difference though between me and Gospel Brown is that me stay clear of numbers. Me not get myself intertwined and intermingle with it because me know me I go wrong. Me know me I go confuse myself. So why start? Why Gospel Brown keep putting himself in the numbers game that he doesn't understand? And every election he embarrasses himself, so sir. This cannot happen for the general election. Gospel Brown need to go. Gospel Brown needs to go. We cannot have this man taggering around for the general election. Moreover, we cannot have Andrew Holness cuddling up to the Electoral Commission in an office. It don't work. It's not working out for us. Because even for Labour one, Labour still have a thief. If Tom with him bloody hands, the sticky hands of Tom, end up down the last night, I rub off him dry blood, pan the woman, the man said, don't touch me. Don't touch me, Tom. Don't touch me. I don't want no dry blood left by me.
Back supposed to come and dance. No, back supposed to come. Back supposed to come out the car and go straight in a polling booth. You must see. Where they are? Come on, man. We're not fool. At the 8th election, I run. I never see this yet. Oh, joking thing on the pan. See if you are back in there, any feeling where you want to put your back to there, put the president of the carry them up.
8th election. And I've never seen this practice before. Labour converge Ungo Anjo never did it. And each one of them have 10 polling card in a them and wrap up with them pushing a box. Why when box reach a polling station, box put on a dot out a gate a wait? What kind of practice this labor? I only want to have election, you know. I never honor nobody. So you can't come blame nobody, say nobody do this and nobody do I honor one. Nobody never say a soul gyrating around the place except for Uno. So if any flawed voters list, if any election compromise, I Uno same one, thief on Uno self. And if we're not thief on ourselves, God Almighty help we don't have conscience for. But while on the naughty sentence, gyrating, lying, stealing, and buying votes, Cliff Hughes, our own Labour supporter, sending a message. Sometimes he just like to listen to Cross the Jaw Cliff because sometimes I go over there, so you will hear some sort of thing where mainstream media need to tell the thief them.
No, sir.
Yes. Well, I hope your party is hearing you, you know. Yeah, because they seem like
I wonder, they listen to your program, but I really wonder if them know where really I take this and the fire that must say anything.
The cool breeze. You know, I often draw on the experience. You will remember. You remember after it was either the 1997.
Come on, another day for man, Cliff business. Hit the like button, hit the PayPal, and hit the Zelle. Yeah, hit them. Dollar ride with the pan this evening. The bus are grown again. Dollar ride.
Or 2000. It was 2001 general election when it was close. I think the PNP won with 34 and the JLP got 26 seats. It was either 97 or 2000, 2002 or 2001 election.
Yeah, I remember the close. There's a close election. I'm going to tell me remember the date good, but
right.
Remember, yeah.
And you remember who was the prime minister at the time? PJ
Patterson.
Right. And you remember what he did? He took out Maxine Henry Wilson and the late Paul Robertson out of the cabinet and tell them, go to PNP headquarters, go organize the party.
Yes, I remember clearly.
Yes, to go win the election because the party had clearly, been losing it.
Yeah, and they were falling behind.
They were falling behind. Yes?
Yeah.
No. I don't see that happening here with this Labour Party. Everybody want in a government. And nobody and them not seem to understand, say, you can't be in a government if Belmont Road run down and not now go on a Belmont Road and you not take care of the mother, the party. They not seem to understand it that sooner rather than later there will be no government because the mother starve, want milk, food. Yeah? They not seem to understand it, and the PNP gets it. The PNP knows that without a viable, clicking party, there is no chance of being in government. Yeah? They don't seem to understand it. Everybody look for themselves in a government. And I realize, say, you left the party, nobody no want give up ministerial position and the car and the whatever. Yeah? For to take care of Belmont.
All is mine right now.
Exactly.
Come out, I'm a whatever. Go out, brother, come out, and then you can go back.
Yes. Yes. So, make them stay there. Yes, as you said, fire their must still and think a cool breeze.
Remember me tell you this today, the 26th day of September. Yeah? Prime Minister better. You see that little thing when in can call the election when he's ready. Better You better stretch it out a little bit past September.
In need of
No matter
time.
what Mark Golding are going to say.
In need of time.
Stretch it out past September next year.
Yes.
Fix what you have to fix.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yes.
The Bible says if you go to the byways and edges, you need to go out there. Them talking about Mark Golding campaign for 3 years. That is true. He's campaigning.
Yes.
And he's winning.
Yes. Yes.
People listening to him.
Yes.
Because you know what we love? Let me tell you, see when we watch the people in Parliament where they used to fling pen and split up and cut each other and fling book and tear up paper.
Mm-hmm.
That is what Jamaican people like to see. That sort of action.
Mm-hmm.
So when the PMP get up and say, you can't file all the lawsuit, me a lawyer too. Sometimes it's not, you can't just, but the humble have something most make the humble have sometimes dead be hungry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that happened to the JLP. Them are humble make. JLP going up power all the way, go fix things.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
PMP go in there and make sure say everybody love them.
Yes.
And I experience me talk from.
Oh, yes.
You hear me?
So make the labor rights and stay there and build up the NIR and build it up. And them other one come spend it for them.
Come spend it and make sure that Jamaican people love them.
Exactly.
You hear me? That is another way of running with it.
Yes.
So the NIR is nice now that you can go buy bus and buy truck and whatever. What do you think are going to happen? 5 years after or 3 years after, when you come out of power, when you stop, boom, run go back and borrow money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? We have it and we take it for granted. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
People say them not live in a road, so you can make highway, them not live a highway, they want money in them man.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Yes. Well, I hope your party is hearing you, Yeah, because they seem like
I go dog, worry sheep. Idle dog, worry sheep. Let's focus on the election plot. On the 3rd of September, just gone, was the 4-year anniversary of the 2020 general election. Constitutionally, we ought to have a general election every 5 years. Constitutionally, Andrew should not be allowed to go beyond the 3rd of September 2025 for a general election. I the dog, worry sheep. Diane, how are you doing, my friend? We know Angelo to take crooked advice and bad advice. Andrew and the whole fleet knows that politically they have no credibility, believability, or electability at the moment. So Andrew, as we know, the narcissist and personality disorder that he has, will want to follow such crooked advice because we're all aware the Prime Minister is a criminal, given the SSL report and the amount of scandals and alleged crimes involving the Prime Minister's financial affair, from racketeering to money laundering to conspiracy to tax evasion, fraud, you name it. The Prime Minister is on the ilk of it. Of course, this Prime Minister will try and do everything he can do in order not to have an election that is not politically expedient to him. which, if they understand political strategy and if they're reading the room, the Prime Minister has killed the credibility and electability of the entire party, not just of Andrew Holness himself, but of the entire Jamaica Labour Party. Thus make it difficult for him anytime from now to the next general election to be victorious. But the question I want to ask Mark Golden, though, should Andrew Holness call a snap election tomorrow morning, have all your constituencies been filled? Could you, at the moment, Mark Golden, if Andrew Holness call a snap general election tomorrow, could you contest all constituencies? Just asking Mark Golden. I think it's time. You've been there for 3 years. It's time the public know now. Is Mark Golden ready to contest all 63 constituency should a snap general election call tomorrow? Because Andrew is on the march now to do anything to sway the nation, confuse the nation, and defraud the nation. We're still yet to work out the reason for the snap 40 million, 50 million spending and a fraudulent by-election where even them go defraud themselves, even them and them politically aligned director of election are talk about flawed voters list. How did you get to issue a flawed voters list? But what Cliff is saying to them, all of you within the Labour Party now, it's about a power and greed for yourself. In the broader scope, what Cliff is saying to all of you at the moment is that you all don't care about the party. You care about your personal ambitions and the power and the lifestyle that you have at the moment. And he's saying by extension that carry on like that, you're all a bunch of failure, because what he's saying to you all, you don't even have any talking points anymore. That's what Cliff is saying to you, know. He may not say it clear like me, come here, chatterbox. But Cliff is really saying to you all, the party is full of dysfunctionality. The party is in disarray. The party is full of greedy and self-serving cronies, is what Cliff Hughes is saying to you all. He may not have the nerve to explain it so bold and brass like me, but it is really what Cliff is saying to you all. Greed is what has mashed up the party and by extension, mashing up the country. I wonder if Narendra Modi here have the amount of account where Andrew have.
Transaction which concerned me was the one where the account was opened at NCB.
Mm-hmm.
It was opened with no money in it. And I didn't know you could open an account with no money in it. A couple of days later, there was a deposit of a little over $143,000 US, which came from SSL.
Fresh
and
drop.
In the context of the discussions which we have been having about SSL, I believe that the Prime Minister needs to address this and explain how and why that money came into his account from SSL. It was deeply concerning to me, and I'm sure that it must be deeply concerning to all the people who not only lost money, but know people who lost money. And you know the number one concern is what happened to borrowed money.
I have to calm down myself, you know, because me feel the explosion coming on. Everybody had trouble upon a ball field. Everybody had call out your name upon the playground. I know you do it. We just a call up your name, so. Why everybody just a text set upon you, so? I like them, not like you. Me pretty picnic, come here, me pretty picnic. I show them not like you, my pretty son. My bright son. Come, because they don't like you. That's everybody just a text set upon you, so. Jamaica, this is getting more disgraceful. Jamaica, it can't get more disgraceful. Or me wonder say, if a Cliff Hughes and Andrew Holness them a make it up to irritate fools like me, so them know say, me fool, me short temper, and me nah no sense. So, then we just make up them story. Say, all right now, Global TV don't have no sense. He's just going to go there and a rant. Could this be something serious? Or them just a give way a talking point? Because something like academia sound more like a talking point, you know. Oh, Jesus, the grounds, my God. PM Holness taking IFE to court over statutory declaration. And me pay the judge them, so them have to rule for me. I saw it gonna. And we raise the salary, so them have to give we ruling. And we put up on a salary, so we have to give we ruling. if an oversight body or an investigatory body we cannot command them, then let us use the court to compel them. So this was what Colonel Charles was referring to when he was saying the Integrity Commission ought to be mandated to certify the Prime Minister loot that the Prime Minister can't even justify or explain. Huh? The Prime Minister can't justify. The Prime Minister can't explain where you get the stolen goods them from. Do you know, sir, in a court you're going to have to provide more explanation to prove why the Integrity Commission, as you said, erred in law and facts? Are you aware that you will have to submit the documents to prove that the IC erred in law and facts, as you claim? Standoff between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Integrity Commission concern his uncertified statutory declaration has taken a major turn. The Prime Minister has gone to the Supreme Court to seek judicial review of the action. Backside. Non-action and comment made by the Commission and two of its directors. Craig Beresford, the Director of Information and Complaint, and Kevin Stevenson, the Director of Investigation. The move by Holness relates to the content of two reports tabled in Parliament and which concern his statutory declaration. The first report is dated 5th of August 2024, and the second, 30th of September 2024. Has there been a recent report that been submitted? First, may I hear about this September 30 report? No, did you hear about the September 30 report? But this is for sure how the entire caucus of the Jamaica Labour Party have no ambition. Where the Prime Minister, in deep embarrassment, is seeking to use the court to muzzle the Integrity Commission. We cannot continue with a Prime Minister that has no respect for the law, have no respect for authority, or have no respect for even the public bodies operating under his tenure. Jamaica, we're at a dangerous crossroad where we have a dog backed into a corner at the moment, Jamaica. This dog will only come at us violently, Jamaica. Be aware of leaving Andrew Holness in power to do worse than he has already done. It is time for the country to take a stand to remove a petulant dictator. I don't know if you Jamaicans on the ground are seeing the horrifying tactics that the Prime Minister is using that we can examine here from the diaspora. The time is now, Jamaica. Don't let it be too late, Jamaica. The time is now, Jamaica. Don't let it be too late. Hold the Prime Minister to his words.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who has openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commissioner of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution, and that Minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the Minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing, not only to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction to it.
So we have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agreed that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them. I believe that this has the potential, if it continues, to bring down the entire government.
And I want to say to Miss Ransom and Miss Brown, thank you for the, what the app name, Zelle donation. Thank you very much. And to those of you who want to hold tight, like the Jamaica Labour Party, you can hit the link in the top of the chat and support the program. Jamaica, we are at a dangerous crossroad where a government failed to admit to its failures, its wrongdoings, and by extension is using the law to challenge the Integrity Commission that this Prime Minister implemented. You couldn't just make it up anywhere else than Jamaica. We're playing drop out of sky from India, and nobody don't know where them come out or come from. And then the Prime Minister left go sign memorandum of anything you want with it do, we will do it. Hold on the Nicola, me never focus on. You say Mark walk out today. Me have to go catch up. Me don't know where going today from me show. Cause me can't, there's a problem with my eye where me can't strain my eye too much. So after me this morning show, I was just resting my eyes. So you say Mark Golden walked out today. Backside, me have to go catch up with that. Hold on, the walk out of Parliament. Let me see if me go up on PBCJ quick. They go see if me can find nothing. Today was Tuesday, so there was a sitting of Parliament. Let me go to and see if the sitting of Parliament 20 would not me not see nothing for today. Sometime it might just be on the PBCJ YouTube. Hold on there. Let me go to the PBCJ YouTube and see if they find anything. Hold on there. Sitting of House of Representatives 3 hours ago. Hold on there. Let me see if we can find anything. Hold on there with them Hopper. Bagga advert. Hold on. I'm gonna have to research this and pick up on it tomorrow. Hold on. Because the link for them put up. For today, them never. Hold on. I really find nothing what happening at the House of Representatives today, but I'll definitely dig. Hold on. I'm going to definitely look into that and B20 says he sent it to me. Hold on there. Let me check my phone. Hold on. In place from 2002 that governs the conduct of members of opposition into out of house after the cabinet. And whereas the Prime Minister did not inform the people of Jamaica that he was investigated. Remember, please. Hold on there.
I don't even need to hear another word. If a member in any way intends to go down a road, that is, you can't understand if you don't listen. Permit yourself.
It looks like the
permit yourself to use
never publish a pandemic because they have the sitting of Parliament up for today. But what I was sent hot off the press. Hold on there. Yes. Hot off the press. Hold on. Video. Judicial review. Well, don't worry. I will. I need to cut out the video. I need to for tomorrow. I'll definitely bring it in the morning. No worry. But That's why they say Mark Golden them should walk out of Parliament from last week. Them tend to leave things too late. Them always allow Andrew to get the go ahead because based on what me listen to you, Mark Golden move a motion and them a block the motion because it is in court. But definitely, hold on there.
To move a no confidence motion in Gordon House in the House of Representatives. I was prevented from doing so on what I regard to be a spurious basis, a basis that hold water.
Wanna give me a chance, make me play another music while me do what me do, yeah?
In other words, because the Prime Minister has apparently sought
of a line on a faraway strand. It's a beautiful love of a soul. In my Jesus alive, where we never shall die. It's a
Just bear with me, my people. I'm going to bring up a clip for you shortly, but let me explain the walkout for you. The People's National Party, Mark Golden, led a moved a motion in relation to the Prime Minister's mistress of lies regarding whether he knew about the investigation or not. And in moving that motion, Colonel Charles and others raised an objection because it is subjected now to a judicial review. And in the legal system, there is a prananganat that's called sub judice, where when a matter is before the court, you shan't speak about it in Parliament. So Andrew is making sure he pull out all the tactical games that he can. all the tactical games that he can. But let me bring you a snippet clip at the moment, but no doubt this will have more extensive coverage tomorrow.
Garden House in the House of to move a no confidence motion in Garden House in the House of Representatives. I was prevented from doing so on what I regard to be a spurious basis, a basis that cannot hold water. The basis that was put forward was that the matters on which my motion was based are now sub judice. In other words, because the Prime Minister has apparently sought judicial review of certain matters arising from what the Integrity Commission has decided in relation to his matter. However, my motion is not dealing with the substance of that report, but is dealing with his own conduct as Prime Minister. And I wish to read the motion now so you can hear it. Whereas conduct in place from 2002 that governs the conduct of members of the Cabinet, and whereas the Prime Minister did not inform the people of Jamaica.
So, bear with me, my people. I'm going over to Mark Golden's Facebook page where I can
the two sides are expected.
Where I can bring you the full report from Mark Golden's Facebook page. If you just bear with me, please.
In other words, because the Prime Minister has apparently sought judicial review of to move a no confidence motion in Garden House in the House of Representatives. I was prevented from doing so on what I regard to be a spurious.
Thank you all, globalists, Nicola, Carlos, Beaton, Teach, and everybody for bringing this to my attention, because I'm a bit under research. I hope you all recognize that.
Basis, a basis that cannot hold water. The basis that was put forward was that the matters on which my motion was based are now sub judice. In other words, because the Prime Minister has apparently sought judicial review of certain matters arising from what the Integrity Commission has decided in relation to his matter. However, my motion is not dealing with the substance of that report, but is dealing with his own conduct as Prime Minister. And I wish to read the motion now so you can hear it. Whereas there is a ministerial code of conduct in place from 2002 that governs the conduct of members of the Cabinet, and whereas the Prime Minister did not inform the people of Jamaica that he was being investigated by the Integrity Commission from as far back as August 2023 for illicit enrichment, and whereas the concealment of this information by the Prime Minister is a breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct that guided the Prime Minister in removing from office ministers serving in the Cabinet over which he presided, and whereas the annual reports of the Integrity Commission for 22-23 and for 23-24 stated that several members of Parliament, initially 6 and then 8, were under investigation for illicit enrichment, but none had come forward to disclose that he or she was under investigation. And whereas the Integrity Commission's investigation report on the 17th September 2024 tabled in Parliament named the Prime Minister as being under investigation for illicit enrichment. And whereas the Prime Minister, as Chairman of Cabinet, instructed members of Cabinet not to divulge the name of any member under investigation for illicit enrichment, contrary to the spirit of the Ministerial Code of Conduct. And whereas the actions of the Prime Minister have caused and continue to cause severe damage to the trust necessary for good order and respect for public office, be it resolved that this Honourable House condemns the Prime Minister for not maintaining ethical standards of transparency and openness in government. Secondly, censures the Prime Minister for his acts of covering up and concealment of the names, including his own, of those members of the Cabinet and or Parliament of which he was and may still be aware, but has kept them in positions of influence in the Cabinet
with the effect of further undermining public trust in the institutions of government, and declares that the actions of the Prime Minister have severely undermined his credibility and trustworthiness, and that he no longer enjoys the confidence of this House. That was the motion that was to be put forward today and hopefully debated next week. We did not want it debated the same day that it was tabled. The Prime Minister is not here in Jamaica. That would not be right or proper. However, we were not allowed to proceed with the tabling of the motion because the Speaker herself had removed herself because the matter affected her husband, and the Deputy Speaker ruled that the motion was improperly brought in breach of the standing orders, relying on the sub judice rule, and so the motion will not go forward. And we think that that is an abuse of the rules of Parliament, and no confidence motions have a very high place in our constitutional arrangements. If a no confidence motion is passed in Parliament, the Governor-General has to dissolve Parliament and call elections. So that is in section, I think, 64 of the Constitution, subsection 5. So for them to block the opposition from bringing a motion on the alleged basis that the matter is sub judice is really, in my view, a bad and sad day for our democracy. Again, it's an example of freedom of speech, freedom of association, our democratic principles being undermined by the misuse of power by the majority in Parliament. It's a very serious matter, and that is why we asked the media to come and hear what we had to say. Thank you.
Now that you were unable, Mr. Golding, to actually populate the motion before the House,
yes,
does the opposition
to move? And
I have problem with Mark Golding here. I have been saying since this report has been tabled that the People's National Party needs to lead a demonstration against this crooked government or democratic rights allow us to do that. What is the People's National Party waiting for? This government will do any and everything to muzzle the truth. This government will do any and everything to control the truth. What is the People's National Party waiting for in leading a national demonstration against the most crooked leader we've ever had? Andrew's not going to go. The party is not going to push him. Is it that we will have to stay with him until he is constitutionally pushed to call a general election? It cannot continue like this, PNP. We have to get up and understand there's a great risk to the country at the moment. This government is pulling out all its stops in order to derail the people. We see them going to court and ask to seal the SSL report, something they promise us transparency on. Jamaica, wholeness is not just going to go peacefully. He doesn't have the ambition, he doesn't have the integrity to step aside. He doesn't have respect for public office. We've seen how much of them Andrew tried to destroy during his tenure. It cannot continue like this. The PNP need to take a stand. More activities need to be going on. People need to be demonstrating against this government. What is the people waiting for? When I go wait till the Indian and Chinese army roll up on the door? Is that what you all waiting for? Till the Indian and the Chinese army rolled up on the door? The easy jerk world, don't set me upon Joseph Patterson, you know, because I will grab him like a pit bull and I will shake him about the place. Joseph Patterson is not a politician. Joseph Patterson is a narcissistic political vlogger. He's not a politician. Joseph Patterson just want to sit down in an armchair like Rattigan, me not care who begs and solicit donation and now get up off of them backside and do something active in the fight. When you have leadership ambitions, leadership ambition is not an armchair situation. It's a different from when you take a knowledge approach, like certain of us vloggers, where we're here to awaken your knowledge, we're here to inform you, here to keep you aware. But when you say you have a charitable organization or foundation, it means boots on the ground work. Joseph Patterson need to go and farm in bees them and leave politics alone. Leave the party, make the party see if it can push itself together to do something. But UIC, as long as Joseph Patterson, kneel down upon the neck of the UIC, it ain't going anywhere. Now, man, me I tell you, and when the man appear from the sky, now, man, the worst thing, the all of them are going to run up and down and scream and make nice, because them are coward. Them are coward. So them are going to run up and down and scream and make nice. But Joseph Patterson need to take him foot off of the neck of the UIC and make the party seem to grow. The party is not your baby, Joseph Patterson. Leave the party, make it grow. Lego the bird, Joseph. Joseph, Lego the bird. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. We will definitely pick up further on that story tomorrow, because it is another twist to the government dodging off to the Prime Minister's dodging off his criminal liability and his dodge from being investigated and be thrown out to everybody to see that this Prime Minister, and more people needing the easy jerk world, a structure it need. The party was growing before Joseph Patterson collapsed with a money grabbing galangin. The party was growing, the party was getting traction. It's when people find out that Joseph Patterson is a narcissist and a control freak, that's where things all start going haywire. And as long as him is there, it's going to remain like that. But join back tomorrow morning, where we will pick up on that story. Thank you all very much, and good night from the Global Television Group.